Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of the Lions Hangover. I am going to tell you why I feel the Lions could go 10-7 this season.
Elbow, forearm, he's going to be down.
The result of the play is a touchdown.
The flag that was thrown on this was picked up.
I don't know, did he get the face mask?
So by rule, the game is over.
The Lions Hangover.
Now, hear me out. This prediction, this idea that I have is purely based on the idea that Goff is going to play up to his potential and the team has improved from last season. I love what the Lions have done in the draft the last couple years, and it's just I love this coaching staff. I love Brad Holmes, and I just feel like they could elevate their game. The players are going to elevate their game. I just feel like a lot of things are going the right way for the Detroit Lions. So let's break it down week by week, and I'll tell you why I think the Lions could go 10-7. With week number 1, the Lions are facing the Eagles. Now, they have quarterback Jalen Hurts, who I don't know if he's a great quarterback, but overall, the team, they've got one of the best, if not the best, offensive lines in the game this season. They upgraded their wide receivers with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. The Lions got blown out last year by the Eagles, and I think that's going to happen for week 1 too. Now, week 2, the Lions are matched up against the Washington Commanders, who I really like their coach, Ron Rivera. But quarterback Carson Wentz is not the real deal. He's bounced around from team to team, and I just feel like he underperforms wherever he goes. The Commanders are pretty much going to be battling for third place all year behind the Cowboys and the Eagles. I don't know if they're better than the Giants. They might be, but that's for them to figure out, and whoever wants to do a show based on them. I feel like the Lions are going to get a win. It should be a pretty easy win. I think they're going to start some momentum here, and they're going to carry it on to week 3 against Minnesota. Now, week 3, the Lions travel to Minnesota for their first road game of the season. This honestly could go either way, but I am giving the Lions the benefit of the doubt. Minnesota has a new coach in Kevin O'Connell. Of course, they have wide receiver Adam Thielen, which is he an awesome receiver or is he not? He seems to be kind of above average, in the middle of the pack too. I do like Jefferson. He's a good piece, and Dalvin Cook, of course. But I think the Lions' defense is going to be starting to click at this time. Aiden Hutchinson, I believe, is the real deal. The Lions' biggest weakness is going to be their secondary, but if they can figure it out, I think the Lions are going to be okay. I don't think Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback. I think he's right in the middle. He's exactly what you expect him to be. I think the Lions are going to find this to be predictable. I don't know how the new coach is going to go, but I think there's no reason to think that the Lions cannot win this game. So I'm giving them the dub. So now for week 4, the Lions come back home and they face the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Coach Pete Carroll, I feel like is building a team for his exit, which is not a good sign. I really feel like he's just getting old. He probably doesn't care. He probably sees the light at the end of the tunnel. He thinks he can still do it, but I don't think he's the coach anymore. I just feel like he's kind of worn out his welcome. Now, they did draft Kenneth Walker III from Michigan State, the rookie. I am a big fan of his. I think he's a powerful running back. He's explosive. But I don't think he's on the right team. Not this year anyway. And I think the Lions are going to be able to beat Seattle pretty easily, especially with the quarterback Drew Lock or Geno Smith. I have no idea who's going to be starting this game, but chances are they're probably not going to be any good. So the Lions will get the W against the Seahawks. Now, week 5, the Lions travel to New England, where they take on Mac Jones and Bill Belichick. And I just have to assume that this is going to be one of those games that, as Lions fans, is going to drive you nuts. It's probably going to be a blowout. I think Mac Jones is the real deal. He's one of the promising up-and-comers who, might have a lot of hype, but I think he can back it up. I like him a lot. Bill Belichick is pretty much a genius. Maybe that was all Tom Brady, but maybe it wasn't. Or maybe Tom Brady is as good as he is because of Bill Belichick. Either way, I think they're building something right with Mac Jones. The only thing the Lions have going for them this week is that Matt Patricia is their offensive coordinator or something like that, which can't be good news for New England, but for some reason Bill Belichick loves Matt Patricia. So, but that's the one thing the Lions have going for them is that New England has a horrible coach somehow involved with their offense. But either way, it's going to be too much for the Lions. They're going to get the loss this week. So after that loss, Lions are going to have a chance to heal up any minor injuries that they have at this point. And week 6 is a bye week. But after the bye week, the Lions travel to Dallas, where I don't know if they've had a lot of success. I can't. They always seem to have bad luck in Dallas outside of maybe the 90s when Barry Sanders was playing. It seemed like those were always fun and exciting games. The Lions always seemed to outperform Dallas no matter where they were at, especially when it was on national TV. But this isn't the 90s. So the Cowboys are going to get this win because Dak Prescott is a pretty good quarterback. So assuming he's healthy, I don't see the Lions being able to pull this one out. I think Dallas is a hard place to play. Not to mention they do have Ezekiel Elliott, who is sometimes really good. I don't know if you noticed, but he's not so bad. Inconsistent at times maybe, but he's up there in the top tier, top half of the running backs in the league. So I don't think the Lions can pull this one out, and that's going to be a loss for them. So after traveling to Dallas, the Lions come home and they play Miami in Week 8. Now, I think this is going to be a loss. I think Tua Tagovailoa, I'm sorry, I butcher his name all the time. I can't do it. There's like 50% of the guys on Lions, I can't even pronounce their name. So, they just got Tyreek Hill, Tagovailoa, Tua. He's set up to have some success. Now, this game could go either way. I really feel like it could go either way, but I am benefiting the Dolphins on this one. So I feel like the Lions are going to get the loss this week. Now, next week, Week 9, they play the Packers in Detroit. I feel like this game is going to mean a little bit more to the Packers this year in a Week 9 than, say, last year when it was the last game of the season and the Packers already had everything wrapped up. I think the Packers are going to walk all over us. If we're lucky, it'll be close. Maybe we'll be in the game for a half. I don't think the Lions are going to beat Green Bay either here or there. But don't worry. Week 10, we travel to Chicago, and Chicago will be one of the worst teams in the league this season. They got a new coach, but I'm not sold on, Justin Fields as a quarterback. I don't think the Bears have a lot going for them. They're probably, whether they want to admit it or not, they need to just overhaul the entire team and just go to a complete rebuild. The Bears are going to be the worst team in the division, if not the league. Even in Chicago, the Lions are going to get the W. After traveling to Chicago, they travel to New York for Week 11 against the Giants. This will be a W. The Lions will beat New York. Now, they do have Kayvon Thibodeau, who has a sprained MCL, and he's projected to miss 3 to 4 weeks, last that I saw as of the recording of this. So he should be back. He should be in healthy shape. I would say by Week 11, he should be running on all cylinders. I'm curious to see what kind of an NFL player he becomes. I know there was a lot of hype for the Lions fans. I feel like a good majority of the people, maybe not the majority, but I feel like a good portion of the people wanted Kayvon Thibodeau. I do question his drive. I know that's sort of the thing about him, but he kind of ruined himself at the combine and just his whole attitude. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of a player he becomes. But if he wants to, I think he could be a strong opponent, but it's a team sport. So I think the Lions are going to get the W. Kenny Golladay plays for the Giants still. He's looking to rebound from a horrible 2021 season, but Kenny Golladay is overrated. Yes, I said it. I feel like a lot of wide receivers are overrated. We've had some of the best wide receivers play for the Lions, and we never won Super Bowls. So I feel like wide receivers are that cherry that goes on top of the pie. So, or the sundae, if you will. But that's a different story. That's a different episode. Anyway, the Lions win Week 11 against the Giants. Now, Week 12, Thanksgiving Day game. It's what we look forward to. And this is not a stupid matchup against the Bears or the Vikings or some other team that you don't care about. This year, Buffalo is coming to town. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, and the Lions are going to get destroyed. There's no way I see the Lions winning this game unless Josh Allen and half their team is injured. There's just no way. Now, I love Josh Allen. I love the Bills, so I will be entertained anyway. But, and that's probably why the NFL matched them up on Thanksgiving, is because most people assume that the Lions are going to lose on Thanksgiving, especially of recent history. So they might as well give everybody a good game to watch, which everybody wants to see the Bills play. I think a lot of people like Josh Allen. He seems like a good dude. So Lions, there's just no way they're going to win. So they will get the L, the big fat L on this one. But they get a little bit of an extended break because of the early game. So Week 13, they host the Jaguars. Now, I believe this is going to be a W. Jaguars are rebuilding their team, especially after the debacle that was last year's season with the coach, the controversy, and all that stuff. But I think the Lions are going to win, and I'm going to say something controversial. I think the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, is highly overrated. I don't think he's the real deal. I think he's a quarterback where 10 years from now we're going to be like, whatever happened to that guy? Remember him? He was supposed to be good, and he wasn't. So I think he's overrated. They did get Trayvon Walker, but he's more of a long-term success guy. I don't think he's an immediate success, and I just don't see the Jaguars having a great season this year, but they might be on the right track. Who knows? They did get Christian Kirk this year, a wide receiver from Arizona, but I always felt Kirk was like a slot receiver kind of a guy. He can't be their number one. They do have Marvin Jones. I love Marvin Jones a lot. I loved him when he was here in Detroit. I wish we were able to keep him, especially when our wide receiver room was really thin and bare. But it doesn't always work out that way. So I hope he has a great career there. But the Lions are going to get the W here. So once again, I think the Lions are going to beat the Vikings in Week 14. But after that game, they travel to New York, the Meadowlands, to take on the New York Jets, Week 15. And I believe the Lions are going to get the W here as well. I'm not a fan of Zach Wilson. Another overrated quarterback who I feel like there's just too much hype, and I've not seen enough promise from him to where I would be excited about him. I think the Lions can handle him. He might not have a lot of help there. He could be good, but he just does not have a lot of help. They're still missing a lot of pieces as far as I'm concerned. But what do I know? I'm just a fan. This will be an easy win for the Lions. I don't see it going any other way. The thing the Lions have going against them is that they're playing in New York or New Jersey, if you want to get specific. So after Week 15, the Lions travel to Carolina for their Week 16 matchup. Now, they have one of the most dual threat running backs in the game, and that's Christian McCaffrey. However, he's kind of injury prone. So assuming he is healthy, assuming Baker Mayfield is healthy, I think Carolina could get the W, but I also feel like they've got a lot of struggles, and both of those guys I feel like are kind of injury prone. Now, I do like Baker Mayfield, especially when the comparison is to Deshaun Watson, and I hope Baker Mayfield just kicks butt this year. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm giving the Lions the W this week. It's going to be near the end of the season. I feel like the Lions are going to be playing for something, possibly a winning record, possibly just for a playoff spot. Who knows? Maybe Green Bay will fall apart and the Lions will be competing for the division. You never know. I don't think it's a strong division. Let me say that. It's all Green Bay right now. But if something happens to Aaron Rodgers, I don't think they have anything to compensate for that. So I feel like the division would be up for grabs. I would say between Detroit and Minnesota. And I just feel like this year Detroit has a little bit more of an edge than Minnesota. But we're talking about Carolina. I got off on a little tangent there. That happens from time to time. The Lions are going to get the W. Now, they do close out the season week 17 against the Bears. That's going to be a W. It should be obvious. We've already gone over it. And they go to Green Bay. Now, whether or not this game means anything, the Lions cannot win in Green Bay in early January. It's just not going to happen. Unless the Lions are playing for something, Jared Goff is having an outstanding year, and Aaron Rodgers is hurt. Like, that's really the only way that the Lions are going to win in Green Bay in Week 18. So, but that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Find me on YouTube and your podcast platforms and all of the social medias. Take some aspirin, ice the head, and I'll be back next week with another Lions Hangover.